double payment for some social security recipient, and also very important update on social security benefit payments. We have got this interesting interview with Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. She discussed the pressing issue of the debt ceiling and what kind of impact will it have on social security benefit payment schedule. We are talking about the social security recipient, people receiving supplemental security income, that is SSI benefits, people receiving SSDI, social security disability insurance benefits, people receiving VA, veteran affairs, also social security retirement benefits. This is confusing and busy time at the same time, and people are looking each and every day to get the maximum amount of social security benefits as possible, whether it's social security increases, any sort of a stimulus check. Maximizing your benefits can ensure that you can easily handle the rising high inflation. Debt ceiling has been one of the top priority issue for social security reform, and today in this video we have got all the latest commentary right from the Janet Yellen, what Janet Yellen is saying about the social security benefits. So without further ado, let's jump right into all the important details. Alright guys, so in this interview, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is talking about the urgency of the situation. Also, what are the odds? What will exactly happen to all these benefits regarding the social security? Also, what are some sticking points regarding the negotiations? Also, what about the extraordinary measures like 14th Amendment and social security beneficiaries? And where does the President Joe Biden and Kevin McCarthy stand in the current negotiation? Role of the lawmakers and some of the hard choices and uncertainty regarding the situation. And guys, most important point, prioritizing the payments, which social security payments will head out first in the event of the US debt default and which payment they'll be holding out. We have got the latest update right from the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. So guys, without further ado, let me discuss all the important points. However, quickly before we start, make sure to hit that like, share this video, subscribe, and without further ado, let's jump right into all the details. Alright guys, so in the recent interview with Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she discusses the pressing issue of the debt ceiling. Currently, we find ourselves in a situation where debt ceiling talks have been a pressing issue. This interview with Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen sheds enough light onto the matter, what's really happening, where they are exactly focusing on, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's perspective onto the debt ceiling, what she is talking about the social security benefit payments, how serious is the issue, what is the significance of the June 1st deadline. These are some very important things. Now, some politicians have claimed that she is really exaggerating the urgency of this deadline, the June 1st deadline. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen in the interview discussed that there are only 12 days remaining until the June 1st deadline. So the interviewer asked the very important question, how hard the deadline really is. Treasury Secretary acknowledged that she stated in her previous letter to Congress that it's expected that we'll be unable to pay our previous bills in early June, possibly as soon as the June 1st deadline. She also stands by her assessment and firmly believes that the June 1st indeed is the hard deadline. And it's worth noting that some conservative Republicans in the House have doubted Treasury Secretary's warnings, claiming that Secretary Yellen has been exaggerating on the risk of defaulting in an attempt to pressurize the Republican majority. Representative Ralph Norman, a member of Freedom Caucus, is quoted saying that the day is here. Then the interviewer asked Secretary Yellen what she can do to convince Congressman Norman that this early June is a real deadline. Then Janet Yellen responded by stating that Treasury has long history of informing Congress about cash position and the headroom under the debt ceiling, and they take pride in credibility of their forecast. Furthermore, she highlights the Congressional Budget Office and the Wall Street forecast, who analyze our cash balances and resources on daily basis, and both of this indicate that early June will be the posing problem. If the debt ceiling isn't raised, hard choices will need to be made, and she emphasizes that United States had a solid track record of paying out bills on time since 1789, and maintaining this commitment is very crucial. What it makes the Treasury, the US Treasury securities, the most safest investment into the world. Unable to pay our bills is simply not acceptable solution. Now, talking about understanding the challenges and potential solutions, first let's talk about the urgency of the situation. It's clear that we are unable to pay our bills. As June 1st deadline is approaching. Beginning June 1st is a crucial period. We need to assess the likelihood of reaching the 15th June without breaching the debt ceiling. However, I must emphasize that providing an exact percentage is challenging due to inherent uncertainty in tax receipt and spending. The odds of reaching the June 15th deadline while being able to pay our bills is quite low. This assessment takes into account various factors such as unpredictability of the tax receipt and spending patterns. Now, talking about most important points regarding negotiation, let's explore some of the important points in the crisis. President Biden has mentioned that revenue generation through means like closing loopholes or raising certain percentage. Then the question arises, is White House open to the deal that raises the debt ceiling with spending caps but without increased revenue or taxes? The White House is negotiating in the good faith with Republicans to find bipartisan solution. While it's not appropriate to negotiate in public or set any red lines, it's important to understand that deficits can be addressed through changes in both spending and revenue. The removal of revenue option by Republicans, including reducing funding to the IRS, raises very important concern. Also, talking about unpaid taxes which resulted from the tax frauds, that is the amount which estimates to about $7 trillion over the next decade. Providing an adequate funding to IRS audit and high-income earners, individuals, and corporations is vital step that can substantially increase the federal revenue. And speaking of the extraordinary measures, the 14th Amendment, there have been a discussion about utilizing 14th Amendment. President Biden has expressed concerns about this appropriations and legal uncertainty within the tight time frame we face. Hope that Congress will raise the debt ceiling and enabling us to pay our bills promptly before they think about the extraordinary measures. To address this question, whether we should pick and choose whether to pay our bills or wait for the court to decide. Now, talking about understanding the debt ceiling crisis, some of the hard choices and potential impacts onto the beneficiaries. It's a complex and evolving situation. Which group of Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA survivors beneficiaries, which group of recipients will be paid out first if US were to default on its debt, and which group is prioritized first, which group is prioritized last? Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has got very important opinions regarding this matter. And moving forward, this is really important to check as we approach the June 1st deadline for the debt ceiling. So let me break down all the details for you in simple manner. Speaking of the current stance of the president, contrary to the belief that President Biden would explore alternative measures to avoid default, it seems that he acknowledges the possibility that some bills will be going to be unpaid if Congress fails to raise the debt. The administration recognizes the importance of paying interest and principals on outstanding debt, also fulfilling the obligations to the seniors who are relying on Social Security benefit and ensuring the military pay and compensating the federal government contracts. However, not all bills can be prioritized and some will have to be left unpaid. Now, talking about some of the hard choices and uncertainty in this decision, at this point it remains unclear which bills will go first paid and which bills will go unpaid if the debt ceiling is not raised. The focus of the administration is primarily on raising the debt ceiling itself, so no issue should occur, as the absence of this agreement on this matter leads to host of other hard choices. And it's essential to understand that debt ceiling issue and future spending through the budget, and currently where the lawmakers stand, lawmakers hold the power to address the debt ceiling crisis, and the current state back and forth between the Republicans and Democrats has created pause in decision-making process. Speaker Kevin McCarthy's choice to merge debt ceiling and budget into a single bill is contributing factor to uncertainty. It's crucial to recognize that debt ceiling can be raised independently of the budget negotiation, providing more time to focus on the budget-related matters until the end of the September. Now, talking about prioritizing the payments, in her remarks, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen indicated that priority on paying out military personnel and fulfilling the Social Security obligations, these are the areas which will be likely to receive priority payments, while others may not receive those priority. However, guys, it's very important to note that the situation is still fluid, meaning that the outcome still remains to be uncertain, and we must monitor the recent developments and closely see how lawmakers will navigate through this crisis. So remember, as Treasury Secretary said, paying out military personnel and fulfilling Social Security obligations, these are some likely areas which will be going to receive the priority in the payments. So if everything goes by the plan, the June 2023 schedule should stay intact, it will not change, and you'll be going to receive your Social Security military personal benefits on time. So talking about the schedule, on 1st of the June and 30th of the June, all the supplemental security income SSI beneficiaries will be going to receive their payment. On 2nd of the June, if you are a Social Security beneficiary receiving Social Security before May 1997 or somebody receiving Social Security and SSI together, check out 2nd of the June. Next one, if you are a Social Security recipient whose birth date falls between 1st to 10th of the month, check out 14th of the June. If your birth date falls between 11th to 20th of the month, check out 21st of the June. If your birth date falls between 21st to 31st of the month, then do check out 28th of the June for your benefit payments to be issued in your direct express, mails or bank accounts. Once I get any latest details, I will keep you posted. So guys, make sure to hit that like, share this video, subscribe, and this is Kedar from How to Guys. See you in the next video.